good afternoon, good evening, and happy replay. Thanks for joining me on Saintiny Travel. My name is Frenchie Saintiny. I'm your travel agent, and we are making the world your own. Today, what we're going to talk about is safety tips for kids and parents on your next trip. Okay, so one of the things, let's get hot into it, okay? One of the things, the reasons why folks don't really go out on vacation, especially when they have kids, is because of the safety of the kids. I'm going to give you a couple of things that may, lessen your anxiety about taking your kids out on trips. Okay, now the first thing you want to do is kids should know certain things. Okay, the first thing that kids should know is their address, their phone number, and their last names. Okay, so they need their full address. So they live at 1 Main Street, San Antonio, Texas, 78247. Their last name, Saintiny. And they need to have their phone number, 210-555-1212. So they need to have those bits of information all the time. The second thing they need to know, especially if you have teenagers or tweens, is that they should know that they should not post any information out on social media. For example, we're leaving on a trip to go to Florida. We live here in Texas. We're going to go to Florida for a week. You may want to tell your teenagers or your tweens not to post things like that, because then people know that you're not home. So you don't want that kind of information out there. Excuse me. The third thing is tell your kids to trust their spidey senses, okay? There are spidey senses. Even though us parents always feel as though that there's something going on, some of the times kids get those spidey senses too. And it's okay for them to listen to those spidey senses. That doesn't mean that they're always right. If they feel like somebody is kind of creepy, that person's creepy. It doesn't matter if they're really creepy or not. Tell them to trust their spidey senses. And the fourth thing that kids should know and do, and they need to know and do with you, parents or guardians, is plan your escape route. Every time that you go to any kind of hotel or anything else, is plan your escape route. Now, what kids should not do, and this is always not, kids should not do this ever, is eat from strangers. Okay, so you're out there in a hotel and you're enjoying yourself, and there's people out there on the pool or whatever else, and there's like some pretzels that somebody's eating, and somebody sees your kid and says, hey, you want this pretzel? And the kid just takes it and puts it in their mouth. That is a no-no. So teach your kids how to politely say, no, thank you. No, thank you. And if that's something that they want, they need to come to you and ask you for it, okay? Another thing that kids should never do, I don't care if it's on vacation or otherwise, kids should never keep secrets, okay? An adult should not be like, oh, let me tell you a secret. You do that, aunties and uncles and stuff say something like that, but they say it, they're not whispering in the kid's ear. The parents can hear it too, but the kid thinks that they're telling a secret. But if an adult should not be telling secrets to a child, okay? So kids should not be keeping secrets with adults, okay? The third thing is that the kids should not wander off. You have to tell your kids, if you get lost, do not move. Do not wander off. We'll find you. Don't go looking for us. We'll find you. Just stay put where you are and, make a scene or something so that we can find you, okay? Now, a couple of things that parents should carry around with them when they are traveling with kids. The first thing you should carry around with you is their allergy list. Kids are allergic to strawberries and peanuts and grass and water and milk and whatever. They're allergic to those things, and you should know easily on a list, just in case, if it's a mom and dad going or whatever, and dad's the one who knows all the allergies and, just added an additional one, you both should know what the allergy is and have the allergy list listed. Also, any medication that your child takes, it's very important for you to have that medication documented. Don't just have the pills. Have it on one sheet, the medication, the doctor that it came from, the doctor's phone number, just in case they have an allergic reaction to something, so that somebody can quickly call the doctor or whatever they need to do to take care of the child. So what we're going to talk about now is hotel safety. Hotel safety, and I've spoken about this on my other show, Saintiny Radio, actually. But this particular thing is a peephole, okay? So there is this thing that you can use at the peephole. There's a peephole. I know you guys don't see the peephole at the hotel. There's a door and there's a peephole. And as you can see people out, guess what? They can see you in too. So you take your handy dandy Post-it sticker, okay, and you cover up the peephole like this. Can you see me? No, you can't see me. You can hear me, but you can't see me. The peephole is about as small as this webcam right here. And if you just take a sticky note and you put it over the peephole, people can't look in, okay? So that's one thing that you can do. Now, they have all these new things, and I'm telling you, I'm giving you this information, but I do not guarantee or warranty any bit of this information. I'm just providing information for you. The companies are not paying me for telling you about this. It's just the simple fact I've been doing some research and looking around. So I said, well, let me go ahead and share this with my future clients, okay? So they got these door jams, even in hotels, even though they got that little clip or whatever. Remember, if a hotel needs to get in there, they can get in there, which is no problem. If for emergency purposes, they need to get in there, they can get in there. But they do have other door jams if you feel a little more secure with door jams. It's funny because I used to live in Brooklyn in New York, and we used to have these door jams, and they're coming back. We used to have these long poles that we used to stick into the ground because the ground was concrete, even though we were all the way on the 3rd floor or whatever. It was into concrete, and you could not, no matter what you did, try to get in there. I don't know how the fire department ever got in there. So what I want to show you right here is this particular door jam. It's called the Adalock. I think it's called the Adalock. And it's right there on Amazon. It's for like 17 bucks. 17 bucks, Adalock, and you just click it in there. And I'll put all these websites or all this information down on the comments after our call. So that's something that you may want to look at. Adalock, there's another one. You can type in Amazon or in Google. You just write portable door locks. There's one for about 12 bucks. Portable door locks, and anything that you'll feel secure that there's a door jam. Another thing that's really important is 911 safety, and I spoke about this on my show Saintiny Radio. There is Carrie's Law, okay? Carrie's Law is about a young lady who was in a hotel and she was trying to call 911 and she wasn't able to dial 911 because the hotel has a prefix. What a prefix is that you have to dial another number before you get an outside line. So they created the Carrie's Law because unfortunately something bad happened to her in the hotel because of it. So Carrie's Law is to make sure that all hotels can be able to dial 911. Just pick up the phone and dial 911 and actually get an operator that knows what room you're in or what hotel you're in and what your distress is. Now, I do not know. I believe in 2018, the president signed the Carrie's Law, and I do not know if it's within all 50 states. So as your travel agent, I would contact the hotel and ask the hotel, do you have Carrie's Law? However, if you're going to another hotel that was not booked by myself, my travel agency, I want you to ask them, do you have 911 or do you have Carrie's Law? Do I have to dial 9 first or another prefix before I dial 911 in case of an emergency? And if they say yes, make sure that you tell your children and let your children know how to dial 911 on the hotel phone. Okay, another thing that I usually do when I go to a hotel is I usually take a picture of the phone at the hotel so that it has the address of the hotel, it has the phone number to the hotel, and it usually has my room number. And you always have to check to make sure that the room number, because they move around phones in hotels. So you want to make sure that that room number matches the room number that you're in. I take a picture of the, that's the first thing I do. I take a picture of the phone and I send it back to my godparents who are here in San Antonio. So they know exactly where I am. So it's really important for you to at least take a picture of your phone. You don't have to call everybody and say, oh, I made it, I made it, I made it. You take a picture of your phone and you send it back to whomever is back at home so they know that which hotel you're in, what your room number is, without you having to type a whole lot of things. Now, we're going to talk about tracking at hotels and cruises. Now, let me just give you just a little bit about this. Trying to track your children, there's so many different tracking devices that you can use to track your children, okay? Any of these tracking devices that I'm talking about, once again, the companies are not paying me to talk about these tracking devices. I just found them. I did some research, and the thing is that they look pretty good, but you do your own research and contact these companies, which I will put in the comments for you. And for the people who are watching this on the World Wide Web, on my SantinyTravel.com website, I will make sure that there is a link to all these different sites that I'm going to give you. So there is something is called the Jobot or the Joabot, and this is what it is. This is what it looks like. It's about as big as an Oreo cookie. And that particular one, that is a personal tracking device that you can give to your kids. It says it's the most advanced personal location tracking, okay? Now, all these tracking devices, you have to make sure that they can be tracked internationally, if they could be tracked over the seas, because I told you this is hotel and cruises, okay? So you have to call the companies and make sure that if you purchase these items, that they'll be able to be tracked wherever you're going. So you let them know, I'm going to Florida. Will I be able to track my, significant, other or child or whatever, my grandparents or whatever with this tracking device before you purchase the device? Because I don't want you to go ahead and purchase it and then after it doesn't work. There's also another site called the angelsense.com. Now it has a two-way walkie-talkie, and I'm going to show you that one real quick. It has a two-way walkie-talkie. There's no contract on this one. That's angelsense.com, and I thought that one was pretty good. It says device for your child, non-removable with a two-way voice. So they can talk and you can talk to them, okay? So that's pretty cool too. I like that. This is one that I had purchased for my granddaughter, and it's from Verizon, and it's the Verizon Gizmo watch. It looks like this, and you can change out the band and everything else, and it stores a few numbers. I'm not going to say how many, just in case my granddaughter's on here. She'll be like, Grandma, you told me it only holds 3 numbers, but when you call, they'll tell you how many numbers it holds. And once again, it's a tracking device, so it was really good because I was able to track her on my phone. And not only was I able to track her on my phone, I could see exactly where she is, and she could call me and I could call her, and I can keep it on the do not disturb. They got schedules and all that other stuff. Also, that's a two-way walkie-talkie. And I think I don't recall how much the Gizmo actually costs, but the service with Verizon was $5. And I think Verizon's the only one that has this Verizon Gizmo watch. It was $5 extra a month. And for that peace of mind, I was happy with that. So if you're going to be in the United States, I think the Gizmo watch is going to be good. But you figure out if the Joabot is better for you, or go to angelsense.com or Verizon Gizmo watch. And as I indicated, I do not guarantee any of these places. And I have not tested any of them except for the Gizmo. And I like the Gizmo, but you pick whatever you think that is good for you. But make sure you check to make sure if you would be able to track them internationally or on a cruise ship. And as your travel agent, I would make sure that that's good for you as well. I would make sure that that's a good fit for you when you contact us at SantinyTravel.com. Another thing that when you're in a hotel or a cruise, especially if you have multiple children, you make sure that they use the buddy system. I know brothers and sisters, don't like each other. Usually cousins like each other. It's really great to travel with cousins because cousins like each other better than brothers and sisters. So, always tell them to use the buddy system, especially, older and younger, because when you're on a cruise, you kind of lax, but you don't want to be lax, but you don't want to be paranoid as well. You want to enjoy your vacation, but you want to make sure that you have a safe vacation. So make sure that you tell your kids to use the buddy system, travel with your cousins, okay? And to use common sense, okay? Just use common sense. You tell your kids, if common sense dictates, please use that, okay? A code word. Code words are always good. So before you leave on vacation, you make sure that your kids know what the code word is between each other and between the parents. So if you have a code word, so nobody can go up to your child and tell your child, hey, your parents are in distress, come with me, I'm going to take you to the hospital. What's the code word? If they don't have the code word, you're not going with them, period, okay? And make sure that the code word is something that they do not tell other people, so and switch it often. I mean, this is not only for traveling, this is, as your daily life. Children are exploring the adventure with you, okay? So you don't want to scare them, but you want to keep your guard up, okay? And teach them things. Now, there's plenty of safety videos on YouTube that you can look at before your trip. I pulled up some of them. I don't know if you can really see them, but there are some safety things. Oh, sorry. Oops. Oh, it died. Oh, okay. It didn't like that. Anyway, so there were safety. Oh, there they go. There's some safety things right here for kids for various different things. But my favorite place to go, and I'm going to pull it up over here, my favorite place to go for anything about kids safety is kidsmarts.org, and smarts has a Z at the end of it, and I'm going to show it to you right now. kidsmarts.org. This is I think this is the best place to go to teach your kids safety things that you can do for safety for your children. I think it's a phenomenal area. And even though nobody's paying me to tell you this information, but I'll stand by and I'll stand behind kidsmarts.org. Definitely kidsmarts.org. I will stand behind because I think they're doing a phenomenal job of trying keeping kids safe. Of course, this is something from the foundation of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, which I am a big advocate for missing kids. So I think that the teaching and the education that they have on this kidsmarts.org is such a phenomenal tool to help kids be smart and to teach parents how to teach their kids to be smart. So in wrapping up, I just wanted to come out here and give you kids safety tips on your next trip so that you don't feel as anxious about going on your trip. So contact us at SantinyTravel.com. We are constantly updating our website. We're constantly trying to put as much data as we can out there. Make sure that you fill out the client intake sheet. Without a client intake sheet, I don't know who you are. Let me know where you want to go. Book your next vacation. Get a consultation with myself. Give us a call. But this was kids safety tips. And we'll come back and give you some more tips for specific things that you asked for. So leave your questions down below. Let us know what you want to know about as far as safety and your children. And we'll talk to you later. If you're on the replay, boy, go ahead and type #replay. I answer every single one of the comments. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for sharing. And this is Saintiny Travel, making the world your own.